Hello, sister queens and kings. Welcome back to another episode of Fearless Leaders in Heels, the podcast where confidence is your crown and leadership starts with self-love.
Today's episode is all about volunteering, how to serve your community, build your platform, and create real impact as a title holder.
And we're doing it Bridgerton style with poise, charm, and a whole lot of heart. Let's get started. Iris, what is a platform again, and what are the steps to volunteering?
So a platform is basically something that you're really passionate about, and there's an issue about that specific thing. For me, I'm a teacher, and education would be my platform. Anything within that, and then focusing more deeper in there, finding an issue, that's when the steps start. So the first step is learning more about that specific platform. So in my case, education, finding a problem, and that would be for me, the students need more help with literacy, and starting from there. Then step 2, that would be focusing in the volunteering part of it. So start to look at different ways to volunteer, get involved in different schools, or just any like toy drives or different events like that related to that specific platform. Then step 3, it will be learn about what is needed to improve and create your own platform. So then it starts to get a more like next level. I would say step 3 and 4 are a little more advanced, because now you know the problem, you have volunteered, you're more knowledgeable of what to do, and now you're creating your own platform. And the final step is now creating volunteering opportunities related to that problem and creating more awareness. So those are the different steps.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for explaining and going into depth.
The next thing we have right here is why volunteering matters in pageantry.
To me, I feel like volunteering is probably one of the top 3 things about pageantry that really affects not only your everyday life, but everybody's everyday life. I'm a mom, so anything that goes with giving back to moms, going to shelters, to helping moms around my neighborhood as well is super important. And also, anytime I go volunteer somewhere, like going to a food drive, I like to take my kids with me. I think it's really important to start young for them, because it teaches them how to give back. It teaches them about community and everybody kind of coming together and really sharing those resources and knowledge.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. One of the things that I think it's really important also, that it helps you with your why, your purpose, life mission. And that's one of my favorite things also that I've learned about pageantry, is that it really helped me narrow down which specific problem I wanted to work on to help in the community, and really focus on that specific one. Because I like doing different things to help, like going out and cleaning parks and different things like that. But it is important to focus on one thing and really try to improve that specific thing while you're doing other stuff. And so, but in an interview room, when they ask you, why do you want to win? Then when you have all this knowledge of your organization, then you're able to bring it back up in the interview room and also in the final question. So next up, how to get started with volunteering. So if, let's say somebody asks you for the first time, I don't know how to even get started, what will you tell them?
Yeah, and I actually do get this question a lot, especially from the younger girls that are in pageantry, like our teens. They'll kind of come up and be like, how do you even get started volunteering? Like, how do you create the platform? I usually tell them that it's really important to, first of all, focus on what your problem that you want to discuss on. Some girls, it's like animals. Others, it's teachers and education, just like yours. The first thing that you can do, is a great option, is to look on social media and just basically search up foundations around the city. And then you can go into those foundations and go deeper and like research about their whys, research how you can volunteer. And a lot of times they'll have like a schedule already posted there where you can go and you can just sign up and go to the next volunteer event.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Another thing that I also do when I'm just looking for any kind of volunteering event. So, how you're saying, I look it up and then I go into their website, their official websites, and then I click. Usually, they have a volunteer little area. So, if you just click at the volunteer area on their website, then you can sign up for their volunteer events. Just how you're saying, you'll see the schedule, or they might send it to you, and then you can go from there. Another important thing is that you don't have to be competing for a pageant or you don't have to be a queen to do volunteer work, because that's something that I have gotten in the past that people assume that you do, but you don't. Anybody can help out, anyone can volunteer, and that's a great way to connect more with your community, because as a teacher it's really important for me to be out there learning more about my community so I can better understand my students in the classroom.
Yes, that is a really great point. Anyone can volunteer, and it doesn't have to be, some people think it's, it's 5, 6 hours out of the day. No, you can literally just go for 30 minutes to an hour. I guarantee you the organization will appreciate any time that you put into their cause and helping other people in the community. And honestly, once you're there, it's really fun to connect with people and you're helping them. And if you bring good energy to it, it can be such a great experience.
Exactly. Next up, linking volunteering to your platform. So basically, that's a little bit of what we already talked about, is that all of the acts of service that you're participating in will eventually tie to your own platform, but the more you do it, the more you're going to understand. And mostly because for me, when I was first trying to understand what a platform was, it was really difficult for me. But when I started volunteering and learning more about the different organizations and what to improve in different things, it was a lot easier to understand what a platform was, to be able to create my own, which is Read and Rise, Empowering Young Minds. Yeah. Thanks. What about you? When you think of linking volunteering to your platform, what's something that stands out?
Well, personally, I didn't have a platform the first couple of times I competed. And I think that once I did gain the knowledge of what a platform even is, it really helped to drive myself. And it really helped me answer the interview questions as well. So, talking to a coach actually helped me bring up my platform, which is Moms and Miracles. I think being a young mom, it was really difficult to see myself as someone who could empower other moms. But at the same time, now that I'm a little bit older, I'm able to help them out more by maybe sharing what I've been through and also just kind of being there for them, because I feel like a lot of times you just need someone to listen and be there for you. So when I was volunteering at like different places, it really helped bring up that, oh, I can be a resource for other moms as well. So that's how my platform came to be.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Next up, we have is build your volunteer binder. What do you think about creating a little binder of the volunteer work that you have done?
I think it's beautiful. I think it's kind of like a little memoir to yourself. And not only that, it can help you in the interview process of the pageant or anywhere else that you're trying to maybe get a job. It's important that they know that you're out in the community and that you understand networking and everything. I think in any job or field that's important is to be able to network and to be able to be around other people.
Yeah, I think a binder will be really good because you can look through it and then you can select your very favorite experience that you have and maybe put a little star there. So while you're preparing for your interview or your final question, it's fresh in your memory and your mind. So whenever they ask you, like if they ask you, what's your favorite organization that you have worked with, then you already have it in your mind because you had pictures in your binder and little stickers of your most exciting experience or memories from that specific event. So I think it will be a really good thing to have. And it can also be a virtual binder. It doesn't have to be a paper one. You can just collect it online. That's usually what I do.
Yeah. Iris, how do you present yourself while you're volunteering?
So this is a really specific to the volunteering event, I would say, because if I'm going to pick up trash in a park, for example, then I would make sure that I'm wearing a t-shirt, something comfortable, and jeans and comfortable shoes to walk around. Usually they give you a description, or you can always ask for a description, so you know how to present yourself appropriately based on the event you're volunteering. Because we also did volunteer at pageants, and the dress code for that was all black and comfy shoes. So
no, you don't want to wear an elegant dress to go pick up trash.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
You can't, yeah. Another thing is always to show up on time and ask questions. So usually they have like a booth or an area, or sometimes you might just see just someone. Just go up to them, introduce yourself, say why you're there, and then usually they will link you up with whoever is in charge, and then you'll start.
Yes. And always remember to bring that good energy. Iris, how does volunteering impact your everyday life?
So to me, it's really important to really be out there in the community. Just how I mentioned before, as a teacher, it's really important for me to really understand my students. And one of those things is to go out there and volunteer in different toy drives, supply drives, anything that I can see their environment and the different situations they're dealing with, that otherwise, if I wasn't out there really hands-on, it will be harder for me to see and understand. So that's one of the things for me that is linked to my everyday life. And I overall find a lot of joy in helping. I love doing that. So it brings me a lot of
beautiful. So
joy.
You find that you have more empathy to what your kids are going through by being out there and supporting them and helping them out in the real world.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you so much. What about you?
Well, I love to be out in the field volunteering, because I feel like, especially when I take my kids, they're seeing what the world needs, and it needs more empathy and like helping each other out. And I think that it's really important to show the new generation how to do that, because growing up, I had a lot of help growing up from my community. So I think now it's even more important to be able to give back now that we can and we're able to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I truly think it impacts my life in such a great way that not only it makes me feel better, but I know that I'm doing something good for my community and my people.
That's awesome. That's great. And another thing that is also important is for people that are looking for jobs in a job interview, it's something good also to have in your resume, because it really stands out to employers or in the interview room when you do have that background, when you're saying you're out there volunteering, making
it shows initiative.
Yeah.
And that you're able to go out and again network with people and just talk to people.
Yeah.
And be present.
Exactly, because typically when you're doing pageantry as a queen, that's one of the big things that they're doing. You're going out to the community, talking to people, helping at different events, bringing awareness to different things. So when you bring up the volunteer work you have done, it really makes you stand out.
And there is no age limit or restriction on volunteering. So no matter what age you are, you can go out and volunteer. There's always opportunities for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell me, what is one of your favorite volunteer experiences you have had?
I've had so many. But my all-time favorite that I always keep in my mind is when I went to a back-to-school drive. A grandma actually, with her two kids, she came in and she didn't understand the process because she didn't speak English. So I was there and I was able to translate. And it's funny because none of the other volunteers were able to speak Spanish either. So it was kind of like fate in a way, like being there and being able to help her out. And I think that's another really important like topic that is not talked about much, is that there's not a lot of resources for Hispanic community to be able to go and just feel supported and not feel this like, oh, I don't know what they're saying, I don't know what's going on. Like it can be really scary asking for help. And to me, being there and being able to help her and talk to her and speak to her in the native language was like such a beautiful moment, I think, for both of us, because for her, like throughout the whole thing, she was smiling and her kids were really happy. And for me, I just tried to be as uplifting as I could and as cheery
That's
as I
awesome.
could to help her. And then at the very end, she hugged me and she's like, "Thank you so much. You've really made this experience so much better than it could have been." And honestly, I like tear up every time I talk about it or just think about it, because it reminded me of my grandmother too. So like, it was just such a beautiful moment.
That's
for
so
me.
sweet. Aww. Thank you for
What
sharing.
about yours? What is your favorite volunteer memory?
So it's also the same. I had a lot, but I would say it was really fun and rewarding being part of putting a toy drive together, working together with an organization and bringing toys to different kids in the community. And then, but I would say my favorite one was kind of related to translating. I volunteer at a hospital once as a translator because I was one of my many subjects I was studying in college, it was Spanish. So they had a really awesome opportunity for us to go out into this hospital and volunteer our time as translators. So when I was there, there's a patient that only spoke Spanish. And at the end, she was just so thankful and grateful that we were there because this hospital is based on only volunteers. So there's volunteer doctors, volunteer nurses, like everyone there is volunteers. So she kept expressing how thankful she is that it's really hard to get medical help with no insurance and resources, just how you're saying. So she was really grateful, and it was just such a nice feeling in my heart that something so simple as really just helping someone translating English to Spanish and vice versa so they can both understand, like building that bridge. It's just so amazing.
Exactly. We are connecting people, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of people that have that you guys know multiple languages, so that's something you can also do is share your voice by just going and translating to different organizations.
Yes, and that's where volunteering comes, where you can go out and volunteer and literally just being there to be able to help somebody who might not understand the language, no matter what it is. It could be Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, or any other language. Just being there and connecting two communities together can be such an impactful way to help the community. Thanks for joining us on another heartfelt episode of Fearless Leaders in Heels.
Everything we're talking about, whether it's learning how to walk in heels or organizing a clothing drive, is not just about pageants. It's about becoming a higher version of yourself.
The one who walks into a room with grace, gives back without being asked, and uses their voice with confidence. That's what Fearless Leaders is all about.
Comment below, what is your favorite way to give back or your dream organization to work with?
Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and share this episode with your sister queens and kings.
Let's glow and grow together.
See you in the next episode.